Every single day we're in a bit of a battle against distraction, against procrastination, and yeah, against temptation. It could be choosing the salad over the fries, or dragging yourself to the gym after a long day, or even just staying focused on one task. For all of that, we rely on this thing we call willpower. But have you ever stopped to wonder what separates the people who seem to consistently win that battle from the rest of us? Well, that's what we're going to break down.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? We all know someone who just seems to have this endless supply of self-discipline. So, what's their secret? Is it something you're born with, or is it a skill you can actually learn? That's exactly what we're going to dig into.
Okay, first things first. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page. Psychologists often use terms like self-discipline, self-control, and willpower almost interchangeably. But at its heart, it's about this: the conscious, very effortful act of choosing a long-term goal over a short-term temptation. It's basically you telling your impulsive, kind of hot emotional system to take a back seat for a minute to your cool, more rational side. Now, for a long, long time, the most popular way to think about willpower was something called the ego depletion theory. And the main metaphor here is, well, it's incredibly simple. The whole idea is that you start your day with a full charge of willpower. And every time you have to resist an urge, like not snapping at a coworker or grabbing a donut instead of fruit, you use up a little bit of that charge. So by the end of the day, your battery is running low, which makes you way more likely to just give in. It makes perfect sense, right? And for a while, it was backed by this now famous experiment. Okay, so picture this. You walk into a room and it smells amazing, like freshly baked cookies. Now, one group of people gets to eat the cookies, but the other group, oh, they have to eat radishes while staring at the cookies. Can you imagine the sheer willpower that takes? Afterwards, both groups were given a puzzle that was actually impossible to solve. The real test was just to see who would give up first. And the results were pretty stunning. The group that got to eat the cookies, the ones who didn't have to drain their willpower battery, they lasted a full 11 minutes longer trying to solve the puzzle than the poor radish eaters. This became the classic proof for that whole ego depletion idea. But the story doesn't end there. See, as more and more research was done, this really fascinating new idea started to pop up. Scientists began to question the whole premise of the draining battery, and this led to a major plot twist in how we understand self-discipline. This question, well, it changes everything. All of a sudden, the focus shifts away from some physical, limited resource to something way more powerful and a lot more flexible: our own mindset. What if the very act of believing your willpower is finite is what actually makes it feel that way? And this is where it gets really wild. Researchers found that your belief about willpower directly changes your performance. If you believe it's a limited resource, then guess what? It becomes one for you. But for people who believe it's an unlimited wellspring they can tap into, for them, exercising self-control can actually feel energizing, not draining. It all just comes down to what you believe is true. Think about it this way. Here's a great little insight from the research. When we feel depleted at the end of the day, we might lose control of our appetites and eat a whole pint of ice cream, but we probably won't lose control of our temper at our family. Now, if willpower were just one single draining battery, you'd give in to every temptation when you're tired. But we don't. We prioritize based on what we believe matters most. So, if self-discipline isn't just a battery you have to manage, but it's actually a skill you can develop, then how do we do it? How do we build it? Well, the research points to 4 key techniques that make up your new discipline toolkit. Okay, here's your action plan. Step 1, it all starts with self-awareness. You can't fight temptations you don't even see coming. Next, and this is a big one, you have to actively believe that willpower is a skill you can strengthen. From there, get moving. Seriously, studies show the discipline it takes to exercise regularly spills over into other parts of life. And finally, maybe the most powerful tool of all, making a specific plan. This is called an implementation intention, and it's so simple, it's brilliant. You just decide ahead of time how you're going to respond to a specific trigger. So if I feel the urge to check social media while I'm working, then I will take 3 deep breaths and get back to my task. It completely bridges the gap between wanting to do something and actually doing it. It makes your good habits almost automatic. And look, building this skill, it's not just about small daily wins. The long-term benefits of developing self-discipline are absolutely massive. They can affect pretty much every aspect of your life. I'm sure you've heard of the famous marshmallow test, right? Preschoolers were given a choice. You can have one marshmallow right now, or if you can wait 15 minutes, you can have two. Well, decades later, researchers followed up with these same kids. The ones who were able to wait, they had better grades, higher test scores, and were generally healthier and more successful as adults. It is just such a powerful example of how this one skill compounds over an entire lifetime.
And the payoffs just keep stacking up. People with higher self-control don't just avoid risks. They actually build better lives. We're talking about better physical health, greater career achievement, and even higher job satisfaction. It is a skill that pays you back again and again across your entire life. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Stop thinking of willpower as some kind of magical trait that you either have or you don't. The science is really clear on this. It's a cognitive muscle. And just like any other muscle, you can strengthen it with the right mindset and the right kind of training. Which, of course, brings us to you. Think about one goal you're working on right now, or maybe one bad habit you're trying to break. What is one simple if-then plan you could put into place today to make success just a little bit more automatic? Because that's the very first step from knowing to actually doing. Thanks for watching.